Alright, so you can pause this right now and read the problem, or read it on your paper, and then restart it once you've read the whole problem and you think you're ready to go. I'm going to jump right into it. So they bought a $200,000 house 10 years ago. It's a 30-year loan, and they made a down payment of 20%. So if 10% would be 20 grand, 20% would be 40 grand. So 200,000 minus their down payment gives them $160,000 that they need to finance. So that's the amount they financed, which is the principal value, or the present value at the start of the problem. We're going to solve again for the present value a little bit later. So they initially have to finance 160 grand, so we're going to go over to our TVM solver here. So much of the stuff is the same. It's 9% interest, it's 160 grand, it's compounded monthly, and we had change. It was a 30-year loan, so initially it's a 30-year loan, so 30 times 12, and then that will give us payments of $1,287. Oh, whoops, what did I do here? My bad. So there's their monthly payment. Now what we want to do is we want to figure out how much they've paid off of their loan. So what we need to do is, once we've plugged this all in, and with the right data, figure out what their monthly payment is, we're now going to go back up to, we're going to go back up to here and change the N. So if they've paid it off for 10 years, or been making payments for 10 years, that means there's 20 years remaining. So now we're going to put the remaining time where this was the starting loan amount, this is the payments they've been making, there's a remaining 20 years, so we're going to do 20 times 12, change that, and now we're going to recalculate the present value, and that's going to tell us how much left they have to pay on the principal. Because remember, every mortgage payment, part pays for the actual loan, the principal, and then a varying portion pays for interest. So we're going to solve this, and that gives, oh, son of a gun. Sorry about that. We're going to solve this for the present value. Oh yeah, change the month again, dude. Now we've got it. And they still owe 143. Okay, so they owe 143. Originally they owed 160. They've been making these payments for 10 years, and yes, it's a little depressing because 10 times 1287 is way less, or way more than the difference between 160 and 143. Nevertheless, 10 years in, this is how much they owe on it. And now it asked about the equity. So we have to figure out how much they still owe. And equity is the amount the house is worth minus what you have left to pay for it. So basically, the equity in your house is, if you could sell your house today for market value, and you had all that cash, and you still had to pay off part of your loan, if you took that pile of cash, paid off part of your loan, what would your pile of cash be after that? That's what it is. So for this problem, it's going to be 380,000 is what it's worth, minus what they owe, and that's going to be, so that gives us a result of $236,912.41 of equity. Basically, if they sold their house today for $380, they'd still have to pay off this loan, and then they'd be left with $236, which they could either put as the down payment of a larger house, or they could buy a cheaper house and have the money left over to do with as they wish. That's their cash, and that's what equity really means. When they say you're building equity, the more you pay off your house, the smaller you make this number. So you're subtracting a smaller number from your house worth, and the smaller number you're subtracting from your house worth, the more equity you have.